الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور انفسنا ومن سيئات اعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد ان لا اله الا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد ان سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله اما بعد فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كلامه العظيم وهو اصدق الصادقين اعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمد كما تحب وترضى بأن تصلي عليه سلام وسلام دائما عليك يا رسول الله صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم. Learned scholar from the past, Maulana Muhammad Azmatullah Sallallahu. Respected elders, my dear brothers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First of all, I would like to thank the Almighty Allah who has bestowed me with this wonderful opportunity to express my thoughts, feelings on the topic Imam Ahmed Raza and modern sciences. In fact, I feel myself very fortunate to present my papers in this historical seminar. Because I got to know why I am turning this as historical is I got to know that this is the first seminar which is of such kind which is being organized by Sunni Dawat Islam, Bangalore. So I feel myself very fortunate to present my papers in this historical seminar in the presence of this august gathering. Dear friends, before we move ahead on the topic, I usually start my speech or presentation of papers by reciting few verses from the poetry of, you can say, couplets from the poetry of Imam Ahmed. Very more. Imam Ahmed Raza, rahimahullah, a great poet of Islam, says, उनकी महक में दिल के गुंजे खिला दिए हैं। उनकी महक ने दिल के गुंजे खिला दिए हैं। उनकी महक ने दिल के गुंजे खिला दिए हैं। जिस राह चल गए हैं, जिस राह चल गए हैं, पूछे बसा दिए हैं। जिस राह चल गए हैं, पूछे बसा दिए हैं। जब आ गई है जोशे रहमत पे उनकी आंखें, जब आ गई है जोशे रहमत पे उनकी आंखें, जलते बुझा दिए हैं, जलते बुझा दिए हैं, रोते हंसा दिए हैं। जलते बुझा दिए हैं, रोते हंसा दिए हैं। जिस राह चल गए हैं, मुझे बसा दिए। मुल्के सुखन की शाही तुमको रजा मुसल्लम, मुल्के सुखन की शाही तुमको रजा मुसल्लम। जिस संत आ गए हो, जिस संत आ गए हो, सिक्के बिठा दिए हैं। जिस संत आ गए हो, सिक्के बिठा दिए हैं। जिस राह चल गए हैं, मुझे बसा दिए हैं। Dear audience, before we understand the contribution of scholarly contribution of Imam Ahmed Raza, rahmatullahi ta'ala alayhi, in the field of modern sciences, it is very much important for all of us to understand who Imam Ahmed Raza is. And this is a fact that to revitalize the spirit of knowledge, learning, and education, it is very much necessary for us to seek guidance and inspiration from the present and past sources of knowledge. And Al-Hazrat Fazil Barani Rahmatullahi Ta'ala has set an example both in the faith, creed, and learning and education for the generations to follow. He has set an example for the generations to follow. And I would like to congratulate Sumita Salami in general and Sumita Salami Bangalore, its branch in particular, who is rendering a great service by organizing such seminars and sessions to highlight the scholarly contribution of Imam Ahmed Raza, who is not only a scholar of Islam, he was a saint as well. We can term him as a saint scholar of Islam. Al-Hazrat Imam Ahmed Raza rahimahullah was one of the greatest luminaries of Islam, especially the Indo-Pak subcontinent. his contribution towards strengthening, which is Iman, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, and advancing for the cause of education and its scientific knowledge is extraordinary. In many aspects, his deep thinking, intelligence, his vision, and acumen surpassed great contemporary thinkers, scholars, Orientalists, and scientists of this era until now. Apart from various Islamic sciences, he had expertise. Yesterday there was a detailed lecture given by me in Urdu on the Islamic sciences, where Imam Ahmed Raza Fazil Baghavi has expertise. If you calculate those sciences, it would be around 55 different states of education. And now, if it is subcategorized, it comes to more than 100 fields of sciences, different knowledge of Islam as well as modern sciences. So Imam Ahmed Raza Fazil Baghavi Rahmatullahi Ta'ala, apart from various Islamic expertising various Islamic sciences like tafsir, hadith, usul tafsir, usul hadith, fiqh, usul fiqh, aqaid, kalam, sirat, language, Arabic language, Urdu language, English, Urdu literature, Persian literature, Arabic literature, and grammars of these languages. Apart from these Islamic education and sciences, he had expertise in many modern sciences like physics, chemistry, geology, mathematics, algebra, trigonometry, astronomy, astrology, arithmetic, phonetics, phonology, engineering, timings, which we say as ilmu tawqeed, the timings, the knowledge of timings, etc. So he has expertise in all these fields of modern sciences. It is not just he was an expert, just he was knowing it. He has authored many books in these fields of modern sciences. And Bihamdillah, I have the names of those books also, which were authored by Imam Ahmed Raza Fazil Baghavi in these fields of modern education. And I have in detail whether those books were published, and if it is published, is through which publishers it has been published and in which language it has been written. And the speciality of Imam Ahmed Raza was, whenever he writes a book, whether the book was written in Arabic or Persian or Urdu, he used to keep Arabic name. He used to keep the name of the book in Arabic. And if we add see, there is a knowledge called Huruf al-Abjad, knowledge of Huruf al-Abjad, where we will have alif will have say 10 points, 10, the number 10. Ba will have some other number. So if we add those, the huruf in which the book was named, we will get the year in which Imam Ahmed Raza had written that book. So he has authored many books in Arabic, Persian, and Urdu in these fields of modern sciences. First, let me brief who Imam Ahmed Raza is. That is, Al-Hazrat Imam Ahmed Raza rahimahullah was born on 10th Shawwal al-Mukarram in 1272 Hijri. Corresponding to English calendar, the year is 1856, in Bareilly, India. His birth name was Muhammad, and his grandfather was also a great scholar of Islam, a saint, Hazrat Allama Raza Ali Khan. His grandfather, Allama Raza Ali Khan, named him as Ahmed Raza. And he became prominent with his greater name Ahmed Raza. Generally, in every generation, the state of mind of the kids is almost similar. It is they are immature until the age of 7 or 8. But Fazil Bareilly Rahmatullah Alayhi's childhood was outstanding. His memorizing capability, his matureness was extraordinary. He completed memorizing Holy Quran at the age of, he completed recitation of the Quran at the age of 3.5 years. At the age of 6, he delivered a scholarly sermon on the topic of Milad al-Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam in front of scholars and clerics of the time. A scholarly sermon on Milad al-Nabi for almost 2 hours at the age of 6 years. At the age of 8, he wrote an explanation on the book Hidayatul Nahl. There's a book of Arabic grammar written in Arabic, Hidayatul Nahl, which is also taught in Madaris of Islam, in universities. Hidayatul Nahl, a book on Arabic grammar. At the age of 8 years, Imam Ahmed Raza wrote an explanation in Arabic on that book. So it was extraordinary. Basically, what I want to say is, he was an extraordinary person. Al-Hasan Imam Ahmed Raza rahimahullah has written hundreds of books in various topics, on various subjects. And it is among us. It is said that Imam Ahmed Raza rahimahullah has authored more than 950 books. 950 books. More than 950. And I have a book called Tasani to Imam Ahmed Raza, in which all the names of those books written by Imam Ahmed Raza is there. And in which year it was written, that is also mentioned. In which language it has been written, that is also written. So it's such a great personality. Al-Azhar Rahimullah's movement, which we term it as Masraki Al-Azhar, is spread across the globe with followers in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Turkey, Afghanistan, Iraq, Sri Lanka, South Africa, United States, and UK, and other countries as well. Many religious schools, organizations, institutions teach his ideas which emphasizes the primacy of Islamic law over adherence to Sufi practices and personal devotion, affection, and love towards our Prophet, beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His works, he has written books in Arabic, Persian, Urdu, including the 30-volume Fatawa, which we call it as Al-Fatawa Razmiya. The actual name of Fatawa Razmiya, which Al-Hasan has kept, is Al-Ataya Al-Nabawiyya fil Fatawa Al-Razmiya. And it is a blessing from Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. These fatawas are not written by me, it is a blessing from Prophet on me. Al-Ataya Al-Nabawiyya fil Fatawa Al-Razmiya. This also shows how much he was affectionate and how much he regarded Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in all aspects. His Hadayat al-Bakhshish, everyone knows, it is the Urdu Diwan, which we say. He compiled the poetries which were compiled, written by Ala Hazrat were compiled, and then it is named as Hadayat al-Bakhshish, the Urdu Diwan, the Urdu literary work, in fact, is the masterpiece of Ala Hazrat in the field of poetry. His Urdu Diwan is Hadayat al-Bakhshish. His Arabic Diwan, he has written similarly, he has written so many poetic verses in Arabic as well. Urdu Hadayat al-Bakhshish is this much. The size of the book is this much. And the Arabic Diwan, which is named as Basati al-Quran, is this much. The size has increased. It shows how much he had expertise in Arabic language and literature. Subhanallah. We used to say, I write books in Arabic, whether I write books in Arabic or Urdu or Persian, I name it in Arabic because it is the language of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's language was Arabic, so I name all the books, irrespective of the book is written in Urdu, Arabic or Persian, I keep the name in Arabic because it is the language of Prophet Muhammad. This also shows how much he had respect and love towards Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In Hadayat al-Bakhshish, he wrote devotional poetry in praise of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which deals with the qualities of Prophet, often have a simplicity and directness. His Urdu couplets entitled Mustafa Jane Rahmat Te Lakhon Salam is read, recited across the world. His poetic verses contains praise of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the physical appearance, his life and times, praise of his family, which is Ahlul Bayt, and companions, Sahaba, and praise of Awliya and Salihin. Imam Ahmed Raza has been recognized, yesterday also I told, he has been recognized by thousands of Islamic scholars, professors, research scholars, poets, intellectuals, historians, etc., from different corners of the world. Imam Ahmed, they have accepted Ala Hazrat's caliber, the quality of his creative thinking, his excellent jurisdiction, his ocean-like Islamic knowledge, his distinct status in different fields of education, and recognized his grand personality as a true devotee of our Holy Prophet Muhammad, a great mujaddid, reformer of present century, and also a cyclopedic scholar and 50 encyclopedia. They have also expressed their views and reflections about this genius of the East. Now, we move ahead. This was a brief introduction, very brief introduction of who Imam Ahmed Raza is. Now, because it is very much impossible to discuss the life of Imam Ahmed Raza and his works in very short span of time. It is highly impossible. Here I will be discussing, in this session, I will be discussing few modern sciences in which Imam Ahmed Raza Rahmatullahi Ta'ala has written books, he had expertise, and he has explained to the world that a Maulvi alim having an Islamic knowledge can at the same time be a scientist of that particular time. Not only a scientist, a mathematician as well. Because usually there is a thinking among us that if a boy studies in madrasa, we ignore him for modern education. We say this is a boy who studies in madrasa, and this is a boy who studies in college, studies in university. He is a Maulvi and he is an engineer. We differentiate. But Imam Ahmed Raza is a personality where we can see Islamic education in him, at the same time modern sciences in him. Dear friends, to start with, Imam Ahmed Raza's Ilm Jafar. Ilm Jafar. Ilm Jafar. Jafar is known as Jafar as well as Jafar. So Ilm Jafar, the knowledge of Jafar, the science of Jafar. This is a study of numerology. This is a study of numerology. This is the art of prediction. Though this knowledge of Jafar existed before Islam, but it was revealed to Prophet ﷺ in a new form and was written on the skin of red goat. Ilm Jafar. Because the art of prediction is not so easy. Through numbers, we have to predict something. Just prediction cannot be prediction. It should come true as well. For the sake of prediction, there are so many people who we see where they put some numbers and comes true or not. They are not bothered. But this art of prediction, Ilm Jafar, art of prediction, study of numerology, in which whatever you predict comes true. Comes true. That is the reason it was revealed on Prophet Muhammad ﷺ in a new form. Not all the persons are blessed with this knowledge. Please know that. Not all the persons are blessed with this knowledge by Almighty Allah. It is a speciality for the awliya Allah. And Allah Hazrat too was blessed with this gift of Ilm Jafar. I would like to quote an incident to which we can very well understand how much expertise he had in this field of science. Once a person, there was a king of Rampur. I mentioned the because two incidents, but due to time constraint, I will sum up with one. There was a king of Rampur whose wife was very sick. He loved her very much and was very attached to her. The king was Badmazar. He was a Badmazar. That is a person, Badmazar means a person who does not follow the religion properly. He sent a messenger to Balili Sharif with a request away from Rampur. He did not want her to be in any way near Rampur. It so happened that riots broke out in Rampur, and it concerned the affairs of the Kanpur Shaheed Ganj Masjid. The governor summoned the king and asked him to meet with him urgently in Rampur. So the messenger of the governor came to Nainital and said, the governor has asked for a call for an emergency meeting because of the riots in Kanpur, and he wants you to come to Rampur as he is also coming to Rampur. As soon as they reached Rampur, then the king said, "Oh my dearest wife, you stay here in Nainital. I'll go to Rampur. I'll attend the meeting. As soon as I finish the meeting, I will come back." Then the king said, "Without you, I will not be staying here. If it is very much important for you to attend the meeting, let me come." She insisted in accompanying the king. Then finally she accompanied the king. Both reached Rampur. As soon as they reached Rampur, the king's wife, as the queen, suddenly died. And it was also the month of Muharram. The prediction of Allah through this modern science, numerology, has proved to be true. He has left behind dozens of books on this subject, such as I have the names where he has written Al-Jadab al-Rasliya, Al-Masail al-Jafriya, Al-Ajliya, Al-Rasliya, Al-Masail al-Jafriya, Al-Jafar al-Jami', Al-Rasail al-Rasliya, Al-Masail al-Jafriya, Askarul-Kutub fi Jamil Manazil. There are so many other books which he has authored in this field of knowledge. And then we'll be discussing on the knowledge of positions of stars, which we term it as astrology. Astrology is a science which study of the positions and movements of stars and planets. Astrology. And Allah had gained a great expertise in this field as well. There was a person named Maulana Ghulam Hussain Sahib, who used to regard himself as an authority in astrology. He is a great astrologist. Once Maulana Ghulam Hussain Sahib visited Allah Hazrat asked him, "What is the situation of the rain? What is the situation of the rain?" After working out positions of his stars, Maulana Ghulam Sahib drew up an astronomical table and said, "In this month there will be no rain. It will only rain in the following month." Maulana Sahib then handed over the astronomical table to Allah. See, these are the positions of stars. I have drew up. You can have a look. Allah examined it and said, "All the power is by Allah." He examined it and said, "All the power is by Allah. If He wishes, then it may rain now." One of Ghulam Hussain Sahib said, "Are you not observing? You are looking at it and saying this. Are you not observing the astronomical table?" Allah said, "I am observing not only this, I am observing everything." Subhanallah. Subhanallah. Allah then looked towards the clock. He looked towards the clock and asked, "What is the time?" Maulana Ghulam Hussain Sahib said, "Quarter past 11. It's 11:15. Raza said, that means there are three quarters left for 12. So yes, there are three quarters left. Saying this, Raza walked up to the clock that was in the room, and with his finger, he moved the big needle of the clock until it was on 12, thus showing 12 o'clock. The clock began to chime, tang, tang. Raza then said, "Oh Ghulam Hussain, you said that it would take three quarters of an hour for the needle to come to 12." Maulana said, "But you are responsible for ordering the needle. You have done it. That is why it has come to 12." On hearing this, Allah said, "Almighty Allah is all powerful, and He may alter the position of the stars whenever He wishes." Allah had not yet completed his sentence. It began to rain heavily. Subhanallah. He has authored many books in this branch of knowledge. Is Ilmun have the books, the name of the books where he has written on this topic. Like Istiqrar Taqwimat Kawakib, Istiqrar Usul Qamr, Risala Ibad Qamr, Ashiya Hatayat Nujum, Zaki al Bahafi, Quwwat al Kawakib. So all these books are written. Unfortunately, these are not published. These are yet to be published. So on Nujum, he has written these books on Nujum astrology. Then it comes to mathematics, Hisab, logarithm, geometry, trigonometry. These are branches of mathematics. Alasan Fazil Balaki Rahmatullahi Ta'ala was also a mathematical genius. He was a great mathematician. He used to solve most difficult mathematical problems in a short span of time. His authority in this field of mathematics will lead the modern day mathematicians in complete aid. Algebra, geometry, calculus, logarithms, and other branches of mathematics, which are normally handled with great difficulty, even by mathematics students and scholars today, was like ordinary addition and subtraction kind of thing for economics. See, once Sir Ziauddin, a renowned mathematician of his era, a famous mathematician, Sir Ziauddin, he was the vice chancellor of Aligarh University at that time. He was struck in a mathematical problem where he was not getting the solution. He studied in Berlin. Let me just brief you who Sir Ziauddin is. When he wrote the exam of matric, that's 10th standard, there was a problem given to him, mathematical problem for solution in exam. Solution to this problem was taught by the maths teacher and said, these are the two formulas through which you can solve this problem. The problem had only two ways, only through two formulas that problem can be solved. Sir Ziauddin, when he was writing 10th exam. And question paper had that problem, mathematical problem. He innovated the third way of this third way, third solution for that mathematical problem. And in the answer sheet, he gave the first formula, he gave the second formula, and the third formula which he innovated when he was writing 10th standard exam. The examiner, when he evaluated the sheet, he said he's a mathematical genius. He was awarded the time that he has innovated the third way for solving this problem. He was also a mathematical genius. He studied in Berlin, Germany. He specialized in this mathematical field. He came back to India. He became the vice chancellor of Aligarh Muslim University. He was stuck in a problem, mathematical problem, where he was not finding solution. He published that problem in the newspaper, seeking help, support from mathematicians to solve this problem. They didn't find any answer. Then he decided, let me go to Berlin, Germany, and then find a solution to this problem. There was a Maulana from the same Aligarh University, from different departments, Diniya department. He was very much attached, that Maulana was very much attached to Al-Azhar. He said to the Vice Chancellor, Syed, we have decided to go to Berlin to get the solution for this mathematical problem. Before that, I would suggest you to come with me to Berlin. There is a person, a scholar, an Islamic scholar called Imam Ahmed Raza. You please visit him, and then you decide whether to go to Berlin or not. He said, Ziauddin said, what will an ordinary Maulana like Maulana Ahmed Raza Khan will be able to solve? He hasn't even gone out of his city to gain knowledge. He said he has not gone out of his city to gain knowledge. So it is obvious that his knowledge is limited. He said he declared that. Nevertheless, after convincing Sir Ziauddin, he agreed to visit Al-Azhar. When he arrived in Bareilly, he immediately went to Al-Azhar, presenting his mathematical problem to Al-Azhar. He said, I am now going to Germany. I will come back. This is my mathematical problem. I have decided to go to Germany. I will go and come back for the answer. That is, if you do manage to solve it, it is good. He said Al-Azhar and gave the mathematical problem. As he was speaking, Al-Azhar was busy in writing something, but he was listening. That is the multitasking. He was writing something, an article on a different subject. At the same time, he was listening to Sir Ziauddin's mathematical problem, for which, to solve it, he wants to visit Berlin, Germany. Sir Ziauddin was about to leave. Al-Azhar handed him a sheet of paper. He handed him a sheet of paper. When Sir Ziauddin read what was written on this paper, he realized that it contained the solution to the mathematical problem which he has given. Sir, this is the answer. What I was looking for. This is the solution for which I wanted to travel to Berlin. He was astonished. He was surprised. Spontaneously he said, Oh Imam Ahmed Raza, I have But now I have seen it and experienced it with my own eyes. Inspired knowledge. Ilm is a knowledge which is not taught. It is not taught by any human being. Ilm is an inspired knowledge, is a gifted knowledge, gifted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Listen, this is a solution of a mathematical problem. So we have to accept Imam Ahmed Raza as a mathematical genius. And Sir Ziauddin, after that, he gave his comments, impression and views about Allah's Fazil ability. I have it with me. I just read it out for you. Dr. Sir Ziauddin, Vice Chancellor, Muslim University University, was also a global renowned authority on mathematics. He said Ala Hazrat was an unassuming man of pleasant manners and morals. He had deep insight in mathematics. A renowned mathematician says that Ala Hazrat had deep insight in mathematics. It was an inner, divine, gifted, inherent knowledge. My query pertained to a mathematical theory which I could not solve it despite my best efforts, was explained and solved spontaneously by this legend, the learned genius in few minutes, as if he already carried a research in it. So Ziauddin writes, now there is none so well versed in India. Allah Ta'ala, further he states, Allah Ta'ala has bestowed upon him such a knowledge that is amazing. His insight in the field of mathematics, algebra and timings is astonishing. Imam Ahmed Raza, was also a mathematical genius, and he has authored so many books in mathematics also. Logarithm, trigonometry, geometry, Hindsa. In geometry, he has written so many books, and fortunately, these books have been published. And within among us, we have it. Then it comes to Al-Hasan as a scientist. Now we will see Al-Hasan as a scientist. The earth moves constantly. This is about its own axis and also around the sun. This is what is being taught to us, is being taught in the schools. That earth revolves around the sun. And it is also taught that the sun is stationary, earth is revolving. But the Islamic principle is that sky and the earth are stationary, not moving, not revolving. This is the Islamic principle. And the planets rotate. This is the sun. It is the sun that moves around the earth. This scientific research, this is a scientific research presented by Imam Ahmed Sunnah, Imam Ahmed Raza Fazil. And in a book called Fawze Mubin, the Radde Halkat Zameen, and a book called, written by Al-Asad Fadil Ghalili, Rahmatullahi Ta'ala, Nuzul Ayat Quran, Basukun Zameen Asman. He has written a book in which he has quoted references from the Holy Quran and ahadith of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, stating that the earth and sky are stationary and the sun is revolving around. He has quoted the verses of the Quran as well. And he has put forward two tile arguments. First, he quoted number of verses from the Quran and Hadith. The translation of some are given here. I have quoted it. First verse he has quoted is of Surah Al-Rahman, verse number 5. Ash-shamsu wal-qamaru bi-husban. The movement of the sun and moon is according to a course. Quran says that sun is moving. Ash-shamsu wal-qamaru. See, everything is there in Quran. Subhanallah. Everything. Tibyan likulli. Explanation of everything is there in the Quran. Quran says. Because the Quran was revealed on Prophet ﷺ and it is not for a period of time. It is the book revealed for us on Prophet, but for us, the whole mankind. And there is no period. It is till Qiyamah. It is the book till Qiyamah. Worldly, the books written on worldly affairs, maybe for the period of time. Then it gets outdated. It gets outdated. But Quran is not outdated. Always Quran is updated. Because it was revealed by the Almighty Allah on Prophet for the whole mankind till Qiyamah. Tibyan Quran has the explanation of each and everything. Raza has done a research and said, what science is? What is scientists present these kind of principles which are against the principles of the Quran and Hadith. He has quoted the verses of Hadith, verses of Quran, and the traditions of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and has proved. It is not just by quoting Quranic verses and Hadith. He has just left it. He has scientifically proved that earth is stationary and sun is revolving. He has gone against the Newton's law of gravity. He says there is no such gravitational force. Raza has done a research work and he says, there is no gravitation as such. There is no force called gravitation. He says, चीज असल की तरफ वापस लौट कर आता है. What? See, we see that if we do anything upside, it comes down. Scientists say it is a gravitational force that pulls it down. Raza says no, it is not a gravitational force. If it is so, he has given an example, beautiful example. If it is so, if the gravitational force is a force which pulls the things down, then in a balloon, we blow up the balloon, gas balloons. Gas is air. It goes up. If it is a force, then it should pull down. It should come down. But it goes up. Because the asal of the air is towards upside. And other things are from soil. The asal is soil. That is the reason when a human being dies, when a Muslim dies, he is buried. Asal ki taraf jata hai. Because we were created from a clay. मिट्टी से बनाया गया जिसम. So मिट्टी में दफन होता है, असल की तरफ जाता है. He has given a beautiful example. Subhanallah. He has scientifically proved that Earth is stationary. And then the second verse he has quoted of Surah Yasin. Surah Al-Rahman, Mustafa. The sun. And then continuously he has quoted 2-3 verses. The sun and the moon are sailing within a circle. Surah Yasin. Sailing within a circle. If a thing is stationary, how it will sail? Sailing means there is a movement. If there is a movement, it is not stationary. He has proved. These are the verses he has quoted in his book, Nuzul Ayat al-Quran. The sukoon is Zameen wa Asman. This is a scientific research of Ayat al-Quran. Then he has quoted other verses as well. And then he has given examples also. What an example, amazing example we have given. SubhanAllah, one example I will quote it for you. If a heavy stone is thrown up straight, if a heavy stone is thrown up straight, it would fall on the same place from where it was thrown. Whereas according to the theory of movement of earth, according to the theory of movement of earth, which Islam is against, it must not happen.
Subhanallah.
You throw up, it comes down in the same place, falls in the same place. You say earth is revolving, moving. Raza says, according to the theory of movement of earth, it must not happen. According to it, if the earth were moving towards east, the stone would fall in the west. Because during the time it went up and came down, the place of earth from where the stone was thrown up, due to the movement of earth, would slip away towards east. Suppose the process of, he says, suppose the process of stone going up and coming down took a time of 5 seconds, then according to the set speed of the theory of movement of earth, that is 506.4 yards per second. The theory of movement of earth says that per second 506.4 yards earth moves. So Raza says, according to the set speed of movement of earth, that is 506.4 yards per second, the earth would slip away towards east by 2532 yards. That is about 1.5 miles. In other words, the stone must fall in the west of that place of going up the stone, at a distance of about 1.5 miles. But actually, it would fall on the same place from where it was thrown up. It shows that the set theory of movement of earth is wrong. He has given this one example. One example. Like this, he has quoted 105 examples. He has argued his stance with 105 examples in this book, and has proved that the theory of movement of earth is wrong because it is against the principles of the Holy Quran and the Hadith and logic. We have to accept him as a scientist. Unfortunately, these books are not translated in English. If they are translated also, they are not published properly, circulated properly. There is no awareness. Awareness is not there. See, if a book is written, if it is published, if it is kept in a room, how would people know? How would people know? Unless and until there is an awareness, there should be a proper awareness. These kind of sessions, seminars will definitely highlight this contribution of Imam Ahmed Raza to the nation. Then we'll see now Al-Azhar as a physicist. Imam Ahmed Raza had discussed about formation of image, reflection, refraction, and space. And his viewpoints are in accordance with modern physics. All these discussions, Imam Ahmed, these are the discussions which are available in Imam Ahmed Raza and Tibiya. Imam Ahmed Raza and physics. He has written so many books. Mubin, the Radde Harkate Zameen. In fact, the meaning of it is the fair success refuting motion of all. It is his masterpiece in the field of physics. Because physics, regarding physics, mechanics is of vital importance from all disciplines. It is highly successful in describing the motion of material bodies such as planets, etc. Imam Ahmed Raza Fazil Walidi Rahmatullah was a Muslim scientist. See, Imam Ahmed Raza, usually we know Imam Ahmed Raza only as Al-Medin Ashikal, that's all. He was a Muslim scientist. The Asian physicist. He was an astronomer, mathematician, philosopher, psychologist, and elegant jurist of the Muslim world. For the Muslim world, because he has not only written these books in Urdu for the people of Indo-Pak subcontinent, he has written books in Arabic language as well. And Arabic is the national language for around the 37 countries. So Fazil Walidi Rahmatullahi Ta'ala Alayh is a genius, Muslim scientist for not only for India, for the whole world. To the whole world. In fact, Muslims should be proud, especially Sunnis, should be proud that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala has bestowed His mercy in form of Imam Ahmed Raza. Instant theory, Galileo theory, all these theories were refuted by Imam Ahmed Raza Ta'ala. Also, Mubin, there is one more book you can say as the other masterpiece of Imam Ahmed Raza, Mu'ine Mubin, Bahre Daure Shams Sukune Zameen. In this book, he has proved that sun is revolving around the earth and the earth is stationary. Sun is revolving. Subhanallah. And he has proved it from various scientific aspects as well. And along with that, we can find so many books written by Imam Ahmed Raza was also a chemist. He has written books on chemistry as well. He was a great economist. Al-Azhar as an economist, because economics is a science of wealth, as said by Adam Smith, who is called as the father of economics. It is a study of wealth, economics. And now our nation's economy, everyone is aware how it is going down day by day. And people who are ruling India, governing India, they also know what our economy is, how it is going down, day by day. Fazil Balili, Alhamdulillah, Ta'ala, Al had an expertise in the field of economics as well. He has given us 4 points. It's basically he wrote a book in the year 1912, and has presented 4 peerless points, great points for the economic development of Muslim nations. Economic development of Muslims, he has given us 4 points. Number one, he says, by the affairs wherein government is involved, the Muslims should decide all their disputes mutually so that millions of rupees which are being spent over litigations may be saved. See, Muslims, for disputes among them, they go to the court where government is involved and spend lakhs and lakhs of rupees. Give it to the government and the lawyers. He says, gives us an idea and says, if you are solving your disputes among yourself, going to a Qazi, a cleric, mufti, and solving the disputes in the light of Quran and Hadith, then the lakhs and lakhs of rupees which are being spent on the litigations, courts and lawyers can be saved. What a point he has given. By this, your money will be with you only. It will not go out. If a businessman has a dispute, he is spending crores and crores of money on litigations and cases, court cases. Instead, he is solving it within the circle, the Islamic circle, by going to a Qazi. He can save that money. He can invest it in his own business, and by this business will develop. Business will be strong, and if the business is strong, then obviously the nation's economy will be strong. So the first point given by Imam Ahmed. The second point he says, the affluent Muslims, Ahle Sarwar, Maldar Muslims, rich people from among the Muslims of Bombay, Calcutta, Rangoon, Madras, and Hyderabad should open banks for other poor Muslims. Opening of banks, Ala Hazrat Fazil Bareilly, a Maulana, is speaking on opening of banks. Banking system, modern banking system is giving us an idea. Subhanallah. Opening of banks. And he says, because he has quoted few cities. because these are the cities where trade is strong. And Bombay, as we all know, that is a center of trade, Markaz al-Tijara, and Calcutta, yes, Madras, Hyderabad, where Nizam was there. So all these states are cash-rich countries, cash-rich states. So he's giving us an idea, a point to open banks for poor Muslims. Modern banking is teaching us how should a modern bank work. Third point, he has given importance on export and import. He says through exports and imports, the nation's economy will become strong. He's speaking on import and export. The fourth point, he says, the sciences of Islam should be propagated and publicized. The fourth point, under economics, he is quoting fourth point as the science of Islam should be propagated and publicized, because for the sake of gain. See how much vastity he had in his side. For the sake of gain, people should not cheat each other. And it is by nature, people for the gain tell lie, cheat each other, blame others, and even for this, kill others. So he says that if your economy should be strong, then you have to implement Islamic principles in it, so that people will come to know which is halal, which is haram. To which way earning is permissible, to which way earning is prohibited. And if you are earning, then how much you should give it as zakat. If you are earning, you have to give sadaqah and charity. So fourth point he says, all these are okay, but the fourth point he says that Islamic principles should be propagated, implemented and publicized, so that everyone will come to know that what Islam is and what is the concept of economics in Islam. By this, Muslims will be stronger. Muslims obviously will become stronger, and Muslims as a community, if it is strong in a particular nation, then obviously it will contribute to the economic growth of that particular country. And if Muslims healthy competition between Muslims and non-Muslims, and the final and net result would be the nation's economy will be strong. Inshallah. Subhanallah. Super points. So we should accept Imam Ahmed Raza as a great economist. Raza was also a great geologist, a person who had vast knowledge on stones, soils, type of stones. Yesterday I had discussed in detail in Urdu on this particular topic by referring to Imam Ahmed Raza's father Khali's book, Husn al-Ta'ammum bi Bayan al-Tayammum. He has given the laws and principles of Tayammum, and he had described in detail those things to which Tayammum is permissible and With those things, the tayammum is not permissible. We had discussed in details. It is a masterpiece, Allah Hazrat's masterpiece in the field of geology. Though it is concerned to the Islamic science of fiqh, then usually it comes to the Islamic jurisprudence, Islamic Sharia, and then the laws and principles comes to the Islamic jurisprudence, which is fiqh, we say it as fiqh. But it had discussions, it had arguments, it is a research work of Imam Ahmed as a geologist as well. An Islamic jurist, we can see Imam Ahmed Raza in the book as an Islamic jurist as well as a great geologist. I do not have time to discuss on that in detail. Inshallah, time permits, next time, inshallah, if we need, inshallah, we will discuss that in detail. As the topic is very vast and the time is so limited, so I conclude by praying upon Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to guide us the right path, to guide us the path shown by Imam Ahmed Raza, which is absolutely in the light of Holy Quran and the traditions of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Amin. Bijah Sayyid al-Mursalin. Habib Rasulullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.